come undisputed and things like that, but once we got it, he like, basically like, what the hell? And that's, you can see with Floyd too. Floyd really was like that too. He really like.
Dan Tank Davis and Lamont Roach are gearing up for their lightweight title match on March 1st, but they had the most unexpected guest invade them during their media duties. 3-1-2-3 good stuff, quick ahead of their fight, the pair, and their teams met to do some media and promotional work for the fight, and shockingly an unwanted guest Floyd Mayweather showed up and disrupted the meeting. Devon Tank Davis, on the other hand, was fully ready for the confrontation, and a brawl broke out between the music pair. While those around did their best to break them up, the pair were able to lay hands on each other, with Floyd having the last laugh after attacking Dan Davis with a shove. It was the first time the pair have come face to face since their fight last April. It all began when Floyd Mayweather went on an interview with Fight Hype and scolded boxers who were so much after luxuries that they weren't paying attention to their skills. It got so bad that Floyd Mayweather involved Shakur Stevenson, lied about Gervonta Davis's fight, and ridiculed the Baltimore champion. Those are lifetime losses. And you know him as long you know you went out there and gave it 100% in that square circle. If you know you gave it 100% and you happy with what you did when you went out there, then that's what it is. It is the worst of all was how Floyd Mayweather did not only pick sides against Davis in his last fight, but also acted in a manner that was unlikely of a boxing legend. He was so after Gervonta Davis's loss that he felt his Instagram post about the fight being canceled wasn't enough. He also predicted a fight that was clearly an easy win for Gervonta Davis as a 50-50 and gave Frank Martin some tips to help him defeat Tank Music Davis. This time, his feud with Gervonta Davis got so much into his head that he had secretly called Gervonta Davis's opponent Frank Martin and given him tips on how to beat Tank Davis, whether it fell on deaf ears or whether Floyd's instructions weren't just enough. We don't know. However, on fight night, Frank Martin, who seemed to put on a great show in the early rounds, fell short after 1 minute and 49 seconds. In the 8th round, a devastating blow from Gervonta Davis took him flat on the canvas, earning Gervonta Davis the 30th win of his career. Davis. But that wasn't an even where the problem was. The real issue was the involvement of Floyd Mayweather, who had clearly been at loggerheads with D.V. Davis, having one of the most epic mentor versus protege feuds in recent history. Frank Martin revealed in one of his many pre-fight interviews that Floyd Mayweather had helped in some way ahead of the fight, hoping to get back at Gervonta Davis for being disrespectful to him, to embrace guys. So what was being around talking to Floyd like what Floyd taught you about fighting? And has it made you a better? Cuz he could tell me all day to do that. __. He does. It came as a surprise to boxing fans and professionals when the Ghost Martin revealed he has been receiving advice from Gervonta Davis's former mentor and promoter Floyd Mayweather. The lightweight duo locked horns in the ring at MGM Grand Garden Arena, Las Vegas on June 15th, with Gervonta Tank Davis retaining his World Boxing Association title. I couldn't do it yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, what does being around a guy like Floyd do for you? He'd tell you go run at 2 in the morning, go do it. When cuz, and as expected, there was quite the trash talk brewing between the two. Still going into the fight, Tank Davis was a heavy favorite. However, while appearing in the Pivot podcast shared on YouTube before the fight, the challenger Frank Martin revealed the Mike Tyson-esque advice Money Mayweather had been giving him to get the upper hand during his Gervonta Davis fight thing is, I've always been there for him from day one, and we had a game plan. And my game plan was to help him become world champion. Frank Martin admits advice from Floyd Mayweather gives him a unique feeling. As a result of this, Floyd Mayweather has now lashed out at those coming for his head. I do what I want to do and support whoever I feel. How's there a crime in that? What's wrong with Frank meeting me for advice? If Tank comes, I'd advise him too. So what's the problem y'all have with me? Mayweather had been in Davis's corner despite their split and the various differences between them over the years. And for the most part, Davis has always respected the former world champion. However, with the Davis-Martin fight, alliances surely did change, help him become world champion and take them to that next level. And I've always been there for him. And just over the years, you can see I've always been positive, always said great things about him, always pushed him to be great, especially since the much-publicized online tussle between Tank and Mayweather last month. So when asked about whether there is anything Martin had learned from Floyd Mayweather before the fight, Martin had this to say: he could tell you, man, go run at 2 o'clock in the morning, because 9 times Out of 10, we know your opponent sleeps at that time, said the Detroit, Michigan native. Not that Martin specifically needed to train in those hours, but rather, as he explained, that doing it would give him a mental edge over his opponent. As these are the little things that make a big difference in the end, Martin emphasized that it's nothing that he didn't know was a big deal, but coming from someone like Floyd, who has been at the highest point in the sport. 10, we know your opponent sleep at that time. So go run at 2 o'clock in the morning and go get yourself a mental edge, because you out there working every night at 2. In the morning running, you're going to take a lot of heave to it, and it's going to give you a different type of motivation when you do it, said Martin. He also added that even when Floyd shows something a boxer might not be able to mimic it perfectly, but it'll give you a different type of feel about yourself. Interestingly, that's exactly what Mike Tyson used to do before his fights to gain a mental edge over his opponents. No wonder he became the youngest heavyweight champion, and later an undisputed champion, running at 3 in the morning and chopping wood are just a few of the things Mike Tyson would do to gain an edge over his opponents. However, neither Tyson's training ritual nor Floyd's advice were able to stop Dant Davis from doing what he planned to do on Fight Night. Davis, who was coming off a year-long layoff because of the hit-and-run case he was involved in 2022, and spent 90 days in Baltimore prison, came out on top on Fight Night with an 8th-round knockout to the claims on X that your fight was canceled the last couple of weeks. He the one told Frank that I was running at 5 o'clock. The gap in his resume didn't dull his skills in the ring. Davis defeated Ryan Garcia in his last outing in April last year and finished off with a similar result against Frank Martin. In fact, leading up to Davis's fight against Frank Martin, Mayweather urged his fans to watch UFC instead after the two traded shots at each other on social media. Famous boxing reporter Michael Benson posted Frid. He told Frank he was give Frank's really how do you know that this word of ISE. Floyd Mayweather and Dant Davis continuing their feud as Mayweather trolls Tank by posting that the Frank Martin fight has been canceled, and Tank responds, "Keep talking, and I'll pull up to your house and lay hands on you." Davis went on to knock out Martin in brutal fashion on Saturday, and in an interview after the fight, the boxing superstar revealed that Mayweather had tried to give his opponent tips on how to beat him. He was giving Frank tips and stuff like that, but I know for sure that wasn't going to be enough to beat me. It's cool. It's all right. I don't really think too much of it. He's not going to hurt me. You know what I mean? It's better to beef with him than to be cool with him. ISE is Steve. While I was, oh, really? So they were like spying her, kind of no. He got a club, he Floyd Mayweather was the one who told Frank that I was running at 5 o'clock. Gervonta Davis. At some point, Gervonta Davis had expressed his willingness to deal with Floyd Mayweather in the ring, including his name among his contemporaries. Speaking to Davis, Nagy from Cigar Talk broached the vibe with Mayweather, which prompted a profound response from the Baltimore native. "A lot of people don't know what Floyd does. He was going at me, and I knew for sure he was going at me. That's why I went to him. There's no reason for me to go at Floyd," said Davis, referring to Mayweather's initial comment that he thought was directed at him. "I knew for sure that was when." Nagy pointed out that over the years, Davis and Floyd's dynamic seemed like a love-hate relationship. Davis completely denied it while claiming he had surpassed Floyd's legacy. "I'm about at that point where I have passed him, and I am doing it at a young age," said Tank. However, Davis wasn't done proving his point as he elaborated, revealing a new deal he had signed. According to several reports, Mayweather's deal with Showtime in 2013 was worth $200 million. That deal I'm talking about he doesn't know about that yet. That's bigger than his deal, said the lightweight champion. However, Davis did not reveal the amount of the mega deal he signed with PBC. I care to elaborate on that out of the sport after that second fight. "And I'm a win, bro. Nah, I could tell you my fights." As a result, many expected him to lay out a plan for a more productive 2025, more fights activity, and hopefully some big events under his GTD promotions. But it all came crashing down when the fans realized it was an announcement of his retirement. Davis, 30, will stand across from Roach Jr., 29, on March 1st, where he will defend his World Boxing Association title for the second time. The love for the sport. How many times you want to get in the ring next year if it was your choice? 3 times. Three fights for sure. The fans expected him to carry on the momentum he got from the Frank Martin fight this June. Instead, he gave fans an ultimatum. He is on his last run in boxing, which will end in 2025. He declared, "After next year, I'm out of the sport." But why is Tank eager to bask in the comforts of a retirement life when he's only 30? What about the fans and the ambition to put on a show for them at Seems it's all getting a bit too boring for Davis, he expresses candid opinions about his retirement call when he appeared in an interview with Fight Hub TV. How about a homecoming fight, Tank Baltimore? How about a homecoming fight? You lost the love, the 30 record holder admitted he lost interest in the sweet science and grew weary of it. He declared it's trash, this sport is trash, garbage, fed up with the whole sport. These comments wouldn't sit well with most fans, especially with those who campaigned and demanded he take up tougher fights and fight the best in the division. However, Davis found solace in making strategic calls, making money, and doing what he liked the most, knocking out opponents. Look like you were like talking about the time was not even discussed at this moment. And now it's something you keep on repeating. Is it just because obviously what you've done? The question remains, how will the fans remember the Baltimore native, and how will they judge his legacy? Davis addressed the same question when he had a conversation with Fight Hype. When asked about whether he would insert his name among the greatest, the World Boxing Association champion disclosed, "I don't even care about that, bro. I don't even care about that. And where I'm from, bro, I will forever be greatest. I will be a forever G to myself." While the fans have only a year to enjoy Davis's explosive boxing and backflips in the ring, it doesn't mean his fight with Roach Jr. will be his last. You said you know you're next. Fights, can we know who they are? Probably the Duran, hopefully. He could squeeze in a couple of fights in 2025 before drawing curtains on his pro career. What's more, the lightweight champion is still under a multi-contract with the PBC, which spans 6-7 fights, and also reportedly had a clause to fight Shakur Stevenson. What will happen to his contractual obligations? Now no one is sure. Now it remains to be seen how the situation develops and whether Davis is hell-bent on sticking to his retirement plan. Shakur, what have Shakur done? What have he done in a sport he haven't done? Nothing. The young one is looking more. Davis returns to action at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn in March when he defends his World Boxing Association lightweight title against current super featherweight champion Lamont Roach. During the launch press conference, Tank revealed that he plans to leave the sport at the end of 2025 and has now named the 3 men he plans to face before he hangs up the gloves. The first of those will be against Roach in March, and he told Fight Hub TV who he wants the other 2 to be, beginning with his first pick. Probably Ryan Garcia, better than him. Who that? The Thean Keen looking way more better than this I keep scamming name. He haven't done nothing. Keen haven't even done nothing. Davis and Garcia met back in April 2023 with Tank dropping his opponent twice on his way to a 7th-round knockout win to hand King Rhea's first professional debut. Garcia is currently serving a 1-year ban after failing a drugs test for his fight with Devin Haney, but is eligible to return to the ring in April 2025, potentially paving the way for a summer showdown with Davis. Tank then revealed he would like to take on Teofimo Lopez before potentially retiring, as suggested. "Yeah, I do too. I'll slap the hell out of him when I see him." What do you say to those names for? So what do you say to those who might be saying that Tank is afraid of what? Afraid of Lopez is the current World Boxing Organization super lightweight champion, having won the belt against Josh Taylor in June 2023 and has defended it on 2 occasions since a fight between Davis and Lopez has been talked about for a number of years by boxing fans. And one man that has shared the ring with both men has given his prediction for how a clash would go. As for his fight against Lamont Roach, Dan Davis has prepared the fans for what to expect with a thriving press conference. Tank Davis formally announced his March 1st fight with Lamont Roach this evening with the official press conference. Concluding moments ago, there's been a lot of talk about Tank's choice of opponent here. So when Roach got the first crack at the podium, he shared these thoughts with the public. "How much you want to bet? Because I came up here alone. How much I want bet? How much you want bet? Just see it out. HL100. That's a bet. I'm excited to be a part of this. And come March 1st, it'll be a great event. Right now, I'm not really big on getting into it and stuff like that. I'm really out of it right now. But come March 1st, it's going to be a great show. Same results. We just got to wait and see. We got 3 months to get ready. So it'll be a goodie. This is a hell of an opportunity. So we're going to conquer it." Roach said, "Everybody knows what I'm coming here to do. If you don't, then stop. You're going to be in for a surprise." I know he won't be surprised. I think he actually took this fight for the naysayers and all this, and all that people talking stuff about the fight. I think he actually took the fight because he knows that I'm a dog, and he wants to prove his skills against a dog. So I'm going to show you all what happens when 2 dogs get in the ring together. And obviously I'm going to be the one coming out victorious. Tank would then get his turn to speak his piece. Choice for you. I'm in your next fight. He has skills, even though he's at a smaller weight class. I feel As though Lamar have you know, and he's someone that's one of the guys that at that point both fighters took a seat to get into a Quanda session to get more in depth about the fight, and everything surrounding it. Here are a few excerpts Tank on a fight with Lomachenko not going through, and why Roach was the next logical choice for him. He has skills even though he is at a smaller weight class. I feel as though Lamont has, and he's actually one of the guys that I came up with in the sport of boxing, actually like still doing well. Everybody that started with us really likes not in the picture right now, so people don't really, I would say, know him. But he definitely has the skills, definitely a top opponent. I actually started with him, like, came out with in the sport of boxing. I'm actually like still doing well. Everybody that's like started with us, Roach, on how his style will be different from what Tank has faced previously. At skill-wise, I bring a lot to the table. I can adapt, I can fight various different styles. I'm tough, I'm gritty, I'm smart, I'm witty, whatever the case. Maybe whatever I got to pull out my bag of tricks, that's what I'm going to do the rest of them. Either they were one-trick ponies, or they just ain't have enough. Gervonta Tank Davis knows how to shock the fans, whether by his power hitting inside the boxing ring, or his comments outside of it. The American fighter famed for his penchant for knockouts is growing weary of doing it all. So instead of solidifying his resume and legacy as one of the greatest, he might be looking for an early exit. The fans have seen very little of him in the last couple of years, so they expected him to be more active after putting his legal troubles behind. The champion seemed to do the same for a while. He fought Frank Martin this June, but again, despite the promises and rumors, his return was only prolonged. Now it seems that he might be willing to make his absence permanent during the first official press conference for Davis versus Roach. Tank lifted the veil from the expectations fans could have from him. The Frank Martin press conference, it looked like you were like a talks about time was not even discussed at this moment. And now it's something you keep on repeating. Is it just because obviously when asked about what his schedule in 2025 looked like, he straight away hinted at hanging up gloves. He said, after next year, I'm out of the sport. This declaration didn't sit well with the fans, as they have gotten used to him stepping inside the ring occasionally. They didn't shy away from expressing their disappointment and discontent as they took to the comment section. And that's all for now. For the very best of updates on news, moments, events, and actions in the world of boxing, stay connected with us by subscribing to our YouTube channel. And don't forget to turn on notifications to get notified when we drop quality contents like this. Until next time, peace out.